2 games played, 2 defeats, 0 goals scored, and 4 goals conceded. This has happened to Arsenal for the first time in their history, as they got absolutely humiliated by Chelsea of a score of 2-0 at the Emirates Stadium. And I say humiliated alongside a 2-0 defeat, because although on paper a 2-0 defeat shouldn't really be classified as a humiliation, Chelsea were in 3rd gear or 4th gear. They were on autopilot for the whole match, yet still managed to dominate Arsenal at a packed out Emirates. And on a side note, it was really amazing to see fans back at the stadium. But they didn't get what they deserved. They got a lackluster, horrendous, boring, tragic performance from their club. And it's sad for a club as big as Arsenal that they're languishing this low. And I think the best way to explain, the best way to analyze how this has happened is to look at the time period between that FA Cup final victory and now. Because Arsenal versus Chelsea was the FA Cup final matchup in 2020. And at the time, Arsenal and Chelsea were very similar in terms of where they were at as an institution. Arsenal had a novice manager in Mikel Arteta. Chelsea had a novice manager in Frank Lampard. They both had good squads. They didn't have great squads. They didn't have a great team that could push them further. And I think since then, we really have seen how both clubs are run and the potential or lack of, you could say, in both clubs. Because Chelsea, the way they run is when they realize they need to address something, when they realize that things may go wrong, things are going wrong, they immediately do something about it. They don't react. They don't react. They don't react at all. They prepare, proact. And you saw that with the firing of Frank Lampard. Once they realized that things could go south, and things were going south under Lampard, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your status as a player. You're gone and we're hiring someone better. And they did in Thomas Tuchel. And Arteta's in the same position as Lampard was in, but he had money. Lampard had money. Lampard spent the money, couldn't get the best out of the squad. Arteta had the money, still has the money, can't get the best out of the squad. And look at Chelsea. Fired Frank Lampard, brought in Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel dominated Europe, and now he looks like he's dominating the Prem. Arteta, he's in a very, very similar position as what Frank Lampard is. And I think we're really going to see how Arsenal are run as a football club. Because Chelsea, if they were in the position that Arsenal are in right now, Arteta would be gone. But Arsenal really need to have a look at themselves, because they got taught a lesson. Arteta got taught a lesson by his superior in Thomas Tuchel. You really saw the difference between a top-class manager and a novice like Arteta. So, the point I'm trying to make is that if Arteta loses to City and continues to go on a bad run of games, do Arsenal, as an institution, have the ability, have the courage to fire someone they trusted? Chelsea did it. Can Arsenal do it? Chelsea did it, and they got success with it because their next hiring was an experienced coach. Arsenal can do the exact same thing. Arsenal can fire Arteta right now and hire Antonio Conte and potentially achieve the success, or somewhat of the success, that Chelsea have achieved. So it all depends on the institution. But as for the match, I mean, you saw the difference, right? Pablo Mari, an Arteta player, against Romelu Lukaku, a Thomas Tuchel player. That matchup really symbolized the difference between the two clubs in terms of where they are right now, because Lukaku absolutely dominated without even trying. He absolutely tortured Pablo Mari today. Pablo Mari didn't have a chance. And it really showed that the recruitment of these two clubs are so much different. The ability to recruit top-class players is at an all-time high for Chelsea, is at an all-time low for Arsenal. And you look at both goals as well. They came from the right-hand side of Chelsea. They came of Tierney's side for Arsenal, Reece James' side for Chelsea. And although you could say Tierney was to blame, I thought he had a good game. I thought him, Sambi Lokonga, and Emil Smith-Rowe were the only bright spots of the match. And The reason why Tierney, you could say, was at fault for the goals because the goals came at his side, but if you really analyze the goals further, Tierney was only just trying to cover for Pablo Mari because Pablo Mari got dragged around by Lukaku like a toy. So Tierney had to come in, cover in for the runs of Mason Mount. And you saw that especially with the second goal, I believe, and the first goal as well. But all in all, it was a horrible performance. Again, like I said before, Emil Smith-Rowe, amazing. Sambi Lokonga, really good today. Kieran Tierney, before his injury, I think was a very good player out on the pitch today. But you can't win a game with 3 players. Impossible. You can barely defend Lukaku with 3 players. How are you going to win a football match? And I think injuries are too easy of an excuse to say for Arteta. I hope he doesn't use that excuse. I hope he doesn't say, oh, injuries to my 2 centre backs, to my midfielder. I hope he really analyzes this game and learns, because you thought he would. You thought Arsenal would be more motivated. You lost your first match. You want to go and win your first home match, and you want to do it to make your fans proud, but they didn't even bother showing up today. Because, I don't know, when you get humiliated by a club like Brentford, you'd expect a response. You'd expect some fight, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. It didn't even look like it was going to happen. And I feel for the Arsenal fans at the stadium, because I can imagine the optimism, or somewhat optimism, going to the game. You know, seeing your club in person for the first time in God knows how long. And then you remember why you realize you were actually happier watching them on the television. But this is all in Arsenal's hands right now. They're in a position where they can hire a top-class coach to replace Mikel Arteta. They can let Mikel Arteta go, similar to how Chelsea let Frank Lampard go and hire Thomas Tuchel. They can do the same. They can fire Mikel Arteta, bring Antonio Conte, a proven manager in the Prem, a proven manager wherever he's been, to really lift the squad. A manager, let's not forget, who makes the most of what he has. That, I think, is the best quality of Antonio Conte. But hiring Antonio Conte, firing Mikel Arteta, is in Arsenal's hands. And if the Arsenal board, if the Arsenal institution really care about succeeding and bringing back some of the glory days, they really have a tough decision to make. Chelsea made it, and look where they are. Arsenal so far haven't made it, and look where they are. So hopefully, I'm not Arteta out or Arteta in. I just want Arsenal to succeed. I just want the club to succeed. And I feel like, I guess the only way is to hire a better coach, to hire a coach that is available in the market right now in Antonio Conte. Because if Arsenal were serious, I think Arteta would be gone and Antonio Conte would be swiftly in. And let's not forget, if Antonio Conte can negotiate with Spurs, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind joining Arsenal. So I don't want to hear Arsenal too low of a club for him. But for now, while Arteta is in the job, he's going to really have to improve. He's going to really have to add some intensity in the game. And he's really going to have to let this side show their creativity, because one thing is for sure, I think, at least, he's trying to play a style which is only applicable if you have the exact players that you have. A style that only works if your club is loaded with money. Like Manchester City. Pep can buy the players, exact players he needs, because he's given unlimited funds. Arsenal don't. And I think Arteta is trying to do more than what this Arsenal squad are capable of. And he's not adapting to what Arsenal actually are. So, there's my little rant. I hope Arsenal improve. I don't think saying that, they play Manchester City at the Etihad next. Wow. We could actually seriously be looking at 3 games played. Don't know how many goals conceded. 0 goals scored. 0 points in the month of August for a club who won the FA Cup in like a year ago. How does that make sense? A club as big as Arsenal not winning a game in the month of August. But that's looking like a possibility. I say the only way there is up, but I doubt it. Anyway, this has been my fan cam. My name is Shezy, and this has been. It's been a dire match if you're an Arsenal fan, and it's been an amazing match if you're a Chelsea fan. But I'll be out. Hopefully this happens again. See you soon.